welcome to Starcastic Remarks. My name is Ryan Chambers. This is Starcastic Remarks, episode 21, season 4. The game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Dallas Stars lose in overtime by a final score of 5-4. Thanks once again to DraftKings Sportsbook for being our sponsor of this episode, all of THPN, and of course, as always, we're going to bring in Chris and James because you guys, there's a lot to talk about. We're a little bit frustrated, but let's be honest, first off, it was a really fun game. But before we even get into anything else, because there's obviously some things that we need to preach about, and Chris, there's already some people in the comment section that are screaming for for your sermon. So we'll get to you in a second. But it was a great game overall. It was so much fun.
It was like a great game that was ruined.
Yes.
Yep. So I'll let James go first, and then Chris, you can rant. So James, what's your initial thoughts on this game tonight?
Okay. So my initial thoughts is that we did exactly what I wanted the Stars to do. They took a lot of penalties. They got 2 power plays, and they outscored the Tampa Bay Lightning in special teams 3-1. That's what I got from this game.
Christian, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, the Stars did not play a great game. Okay, they didn't. Mm-hmm. They allowed 5 goals. That can't happen. I mean, that's not good at all. Ottinger had his second bad night in 3. I wouldn't say he was terrible tonight. He had a couple of huge saves, but he also had he didn't make a big save for us when we really needed it. All that being said, the officiating was absolute trash. It was completely garbage. I mean, all of our penalties, sure, whatever. We'll take them. We'll take our 4 penalties plus the delay of game penalty for the challenge. Fine. But you have to call the same game for the other team. And it did not happen at all tonight. I think we counted for obvious penalties. These are only the obvious penalties that have to be called. 2 high sticks in the game that were not called at all. By the way, the penalty at the end of the game that almost closed it out for us and took away all of our momentum, we just got lucky with a terrible giveaway, was the only high stick that we had on the Lightning. Immediately called. Didn't miss one of those. Then at the end of the game, after we take the lead, the most obvious hook of the entire game, just let it go. Stars don't need a power play to end the game, even though we just gave one to the Lightning, whatever. And then the most obvious slash of the game, Tyler Seguin's stick is chopped in half. Yeah. He is in literally overtime too. Chopped in half in overtime.
On a tired guy.
When we would have had the puck still. We would have been cycling through the zone with a great chance, and it's slashed out of him, and they get a chance the other way. It's not just a slash away from the play. That's a slash that kills a scoring chance for us and gives them a scoring chance. Not called at all. Unbelievable. So the Stars did not play good enough. They did not play good enough against the Lightning's backup goalie. We still should have gotten 2 points. The Stars played good enough to win, is what they did. And the refs took that away because it was terrible. I mean, only 2 penalties against Lightning tonight is unbelievable. It's atrocious.
Yeah, I fully agree. And the fact is that we've only had 6 penalties called against, or 4. We've only had 6 power play chances in the last 3 games. 6 power play chances the last 3 games. So,
for a team that's known as being one of the most aggressive teams in the NHL.
No, that's 6 in the last 4. So, because there
as one of the most aggressive and offensive teams in the NHL, we only get 6 penalties in the last 6 power plays in the last 4 games. It's not right. It's wrong. It's incorrect.
Something seems to be off to me as well, you guys, because I don't understand what's going on. And this is not a thing that's been just this game, right? It's been consistently throughout the season. I know that, and I think it was Shannon, the hockey guy, who put it best. He's like, maybe the style of game they play just leads to more penalties. Okay. But when there are obvious calls that should be made, they should be made. And Chris, there was 4 obvious calls that you pointed out that were not made. And that's what I'm really frustrated about. And it's not just the fact that they weren't called. The power plays in today's game were lopsided. They were completely lopsided. And, if we didn't take advantage of those 2 power play goals that we had, because we were basically perfect on our power play, this game would have been completely out of shot because of the refs and the way they called the game. So that's just how I feel about it.
And it's not just tonight either. I mean, we had a running joke throughout the season is how many times is Marchment going to get elbowed in the face and it not be a penalty?
Right.
How is that going to be an inside team joke that a fan base has? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have crap like that all the time. I mean, we've had recently Sagan never draws a penalty. That's a new one that we've had over the past
He had
5 or 6
3
games.
just in this game.
3 just in this game, says James, which I totally agree with. So I don't get it. I don't care that we're taking penalties because our penalty kill has been fantastic, and we seem to play better when we take penalties. Whatever. I don't care about it anymore. But when they're this lopsided, when the eye test says they shouldn't be, it's garbage.
Yeah. And the crazier thing is how good our power play has been over the past like 10 games, I think. We're over 50%.
Yeah, 10 for 18.
Without being able to get into a rhythm. Just taking advantage every chance they get.
Yes, and we've only had 18 in 10 games. That's ridiculous. That's not even 2 a game.
That's unbelievable is what it is.
Yeah, now Chris, everybody in the comment section over here is reminding me of the Bart Simpson meme where he's like, everybody, Bart, say the line, and you said atrocious. What's the right word you got to say?
I'm not saying that word. They don't deserve it.
It's not even worth it tonight. I'll say it for him just because he's so mad. But the word is asinine. It was absolutely asinine, the officiating in tonight's game. And it's been so hot and cold. Like some games it's okay. Some games it's really bad. And today it was just flat out bad.
It's been cold and cold.
Well, the 3 out of the last 4 for us have been dead cold.
So let's just get straight into the review for tonight, guys, after we kind of went off on that. Ross Colton scores after a loose puck, and Dallas had numbers in front of Otter, so I don't know if you can really blame Otter fully for that. Yes, he should have had that puck when Ross Colton scored, but I think there was like 3 Dallas Stars on 1, and Ross Colton was able to score. What did y'all think of that particular goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Yeah, I mean, the Stars kind of stick-checked themselves. They got to the puck all at the same time. Bad communication. Rolls right to the other dude, and he shoots it as soon as he gets it.
There were some chances later on for some of the Stars players. Blumel had a chance. Ben had an almost breakaway. There was need for more time in the ozone for the Stars, I felt like, in that first period. Perry hit the post on a wraparound chance. Dallas got a power play. Hintz had a chance on that power play, and then Marchment would score off of a tip off of Robertson's shot. It was his first goal in 7 games, so it's really good to see him get back on the score sheet in tonight's game. What did y'all think of that particular goal?
Yeah, it's the new stick. It's the new stick.
It's the new twig.
It's always the new twig. After Marchment's goal, it was a mini 2-on-1 for Tampa Bay. Otter made a good save there. Hagel had a chance. Nemestikov had a chance. It was off of a Dallas turnover. Wyatt Johnston hit the post just randomly. It was just completely against the flow of play.
He was pretty wide open on that too, if I remember correctly.
He was. And Point and Hedman had a 2-on-1, the 2 guys you don't want to give a 2-on-1 to, and thankfully no real shot came of it. And then Lundqvist hit the post with 23 seconds remaining. And I wrote, it was a very entertaining period by both teams, especially those last 5 minutes. And I thought the Stars got better as the game went along in that first period. What was y'all's first thoughts in that first period?
I definitely agree with you on that. It took us a while to get settled in this game, which is not common for us. We're normally starting the game hot, but we fought our way back in.
Yeah, we definitely started a little slow, but after the Lightning scored that goal, we really picked it up, and we ended up getting a power play chance out of it, scored, and then after that, the Lightning came back, and it was pretty back and forth for the last 5 minutes.
Especially the last 5 minutes, I was having a lot of fun. The last 5 minutes was so entertaining. Kind of a scary incident. Elliott looked to get poked in the eye by Delandria. Thankfully, nothing really came of it, so Brian Elliott's okay. Foxa would take an interference penalty. It was a stupid call because it was obvious that they just collided. They were both looking up at the ceiling. Razor even mentioned it. And then it mentioned that Tampa Bay was 13th in the NHL in the power play. Dallas is 3rd in the NHL in the penalty kill. And it's obvious to see the way the Stars have played is they highly rely on their special teams. Nick Paul puck-jacked Rope Hintz on the ensuing power play, and he scores, makes it 2-1 for Tampa Bay. It's another goal that I thought that was just kind of random that could have been avoided. Hintz probably should have gotten out of the zone. And in that first goal, I mean, we outnumbered whoever scored the goal. I already forgot. But regardless, it's 2-1 Tampa Bay at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating that the only power play goal that the Lightning scored tonight was on that penalty because Foxa and I forget who he ran into, but both of them were looking up at the ceiling and they ran into each other, and it's called for interference. Like, that's ridiculous. That was frustrating.
I didn't know what was the point in and all that.
Yeah,
but still,
that was the only, I thought, non-call that the Stars should have had against them. So
yeah, I slightly agree with you. Let's see. Wyatt would take a penalty. Wyatt Johnson would take a penalty. And then Nemestikov, what the heck? I don't know where that came from, but he just goes bully goaling and completely destroys Ottinger in the crease. And I think the only reason why there wasn't more, brouhaha after that is Nemestikov was on the Stars last year. So, I mean, I was up in arms. I was screaming my head off at that point. You can ask Mom and Amanda sitting over there. I was yelling and screaming. I was really mad.
Razor was screaming too.
There was no attempt to get out of the way on that one. If Ottinger's hurt on that, we're pissed off for a long time. We're just lucky he didn't get hurt because
exactly.
There was no attempt to make to stop until he was in the crease. So, don't like that play.
You could say it kind of helped the Stars in a way, though, because the power play would remain for the Stars, would remain for the final 43 seconds, although it looked like it was going to go 4-on-4 for a while. Pavelski would score off the rebound off of Miro's shot. It's 2 for 2 on the power play, and this is where I got the 10 for 18 on a recent stretch. I guess you said it was 10 games, James. So it's 2-2 tie at that point.
Yep. Great by the power play again. I mean, our power play is fantastic. We just can't get on it.
Yeah. And I had a question about where the faceoff was after they called those offsetting penalties. Is that normal for the faceoff to come all the way back in our zone? Because, I mean, they were offsetting.
They were offsetting, but the original call is what they have to go with. So if it's the original call is against that team, it goes in their defensive zone. That's just how it goes.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, but if it's called for a 4-on-4, don't they do it at center ice?
No.
I believe that's only if they happen at the same time. So if you do that's so offsetting weird. Roughing minors, then you take to the center. But yeah, it's weird.
The rules are weird. That's it.
I'll get back to you on that second one. I don't know for sure. 2 minutes later, Robo would score on a broken play, and it looked like there was a missed call on Pavelski that, again, I thought should have been called. And Dallas would go on the penalty kill again from Lundqvist. Lundqvist has been taking a lot of penalties lately. I don't know if if y'all have noticed that, but they kill it off, and then Stamkos ties it in the low slot. He scores as he's just completely wide open. I don't know how you leave Steven Stamkos wide open, but they do. So what did y'all think of either Robo's goal or Stamkos' goal?
Stamkos is a sneaky guy. That's what he does. I mean, he gets open.
Yeah.
So Delandre would have a wide open net chance. Marchment in the slot would go high. They both missed good quality chances. Lundqvist would go back to the penalty box again for holding the stick. They would kill it off, and then Hayden Fleury would hit off the pipe. So there's another post. And then I just wrote, this is just a fantastic game by both teams. It's fun to watch. So at the end of the second period, it's 3-3. What are y'all thoughts from the second period?
It's an exciting game. Some sus defense by both teams, I would say, but definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, very entertaining. Very, very entertaining.
Robo would have a mini tip to begin the third period. Point would attack the net. Ben fans on a shot that I thought he had a real chance on, and he looked good again tonight, but he just cannot finish to save his life.
It felt like that a lot tonight. Like nobody could. Like good chance to just miss the net or shoot right into the logo or
Maybe it's the ice.
They did say the ice was very choppy tonight, which was kind of frustrating to. I'm sure from a watcher's perspective, I couldn't see it. I was listening to the game, but I know. Johnston had a wide open net that he missed. Delandre missed a wide open net early in the third, I think. And Marchment had a couple of missed chances in the slot. We sink any of those, and that's our 5-on-5 goal for the night, or second one for the night.
Right.
Bolts are playing on the same ice, though. So
that's true.
They didn't miss any wide open nets.
But they're used to it. It's their home arena. So, anyway, Ian Cole would get. It's all right. It would go 4-3 for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay would retake the lead. He would get a rebound goal. He just dangles around the leg of Otter and around the post, deposits it into the net. DeBoer thinks it's offside. I don't know what he was thinking. If he called that, I don't think Kelly Forbes would call something that close. So, I mean, what did y'all think as soon as you saw the replay? Well, I guess, Chris, as soon as you saw the replay, what did you think?
Well, first of all, the goal's terrible. I mean, the defense is awful. You're just leaving Ottinger out to dry is what you're doing. There is like nobody on that entire side of the ice. But after that, I don't like the challenge. It's way too close, especially in a game where the offense is fluctuating so much. Like, just leave that alone. We'll take the extra 2 minutes to try and get into the game rather than try and take this one off the board. And what I wouldn't even say is a coin flip. I mean, that's not even a 50-50. That's like a 30% chance of getting that one to go your way. So it's way too close in my opinion. Trust your offense to get you back in the game. Don't try and get back in this way is my thought process.
James, did you get a chance to look at that particular play?
I didn't even get a chance to look at any of the goals, honestly. I came straight from my car in here and started.
It wasn't close enough to challenge, in my opinion. It really wasn't.
I agree.
There was one thing that it did kind of do. The review took a really long time, which really that does kill a lot of momentum in the game. So with Tampa scoring like that, it did kill a lot of momentum. And with how good our penalty kill was, that really flipped the momentum the other way. But it did waste 2 minutes.
It gives momentum right back, though, because the Lightning had a good power play, and they were piled it on the 5 minutes after that. It took us until like 8 minutes left in the game until we finally started getting good chances going the other way. So I don't like the call when it's that close. I trust our offense more when the play is like that.
But do you understand where James is coming from, though, Chris?
I do, but I still disagree.
I'm kind of
I'm a big momentum guy, so
I'm kind of I like how you're thinking though, James, and I do understand your point as well, Chris, is because it did take a lot of time, so it did kind of stifle it. They got a longer timeout than a normal timeout would have gotten them if they were looking for a change in momentum, James. But at the same time, you had to have thought that it wasn't even close. So, and it did. What was nice is that you look at your penalty kill and the fact that they had killed off every single one other than the first one, and they had looked good doing it. So you were trying to take a chance and thinking, maybe they call it back. Let's get us some time to chill out, give us a little bit more time to kind of stifle the momentum. Don't let them go and get another one real quick. And then it also gives them a chance to maybe call it back, and maybe it's still 3-3. So I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I do get your point as well, Chris. Delhi, holy crap. He would take a huge block shot. I mean, he needs all the raves tonight. And it wasn't just off of any player. It was off of Steven Stamkos. So he's got a bazooka of a shot, and that was a fantastic block shot. I mean, the guy has turned into an everyday NHLer, and he's got a new sense of confidence in him that we haven't seen until this season under DeBoer. So what did y'all think about Dellandria's play tonight, or just in general?
Just saw on Twitter, apparently he's getting x-rayed right now. They're hoping for the best. He didn't play after the game. He stayed on the bench. I thought he broke his ankle. I mean, when I immediately saw it, I thought his ankle was broken. So we'll see what happens. I really hope not, because he's been fantastic. Like we've said, he's even had a couple of great scoring chances tonight. So hopefully that's not the case and he can stay on.
Yeah. Also, just with the way he plays, I think eventually, at some point throughout the season, he's definitely going to get hurt. So he plays super physical. He plays for how small he is. Yeah. All the time. All the time. It doesn't matter what it is. He's always aggressive all the time.
So Dallas would kill off that particular penalty after Kucherov also hit the post on this penalty kill, by the way, guys. I forgot to mention that on the same penalty kill that Dellandria blocked the shot on. Robo would get a chance. Kucherov would miss twice. The one thing that frustrated me in the last 10 minutes of the third is the Stars, they lost 4 faceoffs in a row in the offensive zone. So I know we sit here and complain about the fact that, yes, the officiating was bad, but we do have to look at ways that we can fix our own problems. And that was one particular instance where we have to take advantage of just one of those.
That was the other thing I meant to mention before my rant. I mean, we were at 75% after the first period, I think, in faceoffs. We end the night losing 49-51. That's terrible.
It's not a good way to end the game. It definitely is not. Kiviranta would take a penalty, and then I don't even know how to explain this next thing, you guys. Sergachev just goes in la la land. Foxa takes it and goes 5-hole on Elliott, and I don't even blame Elliott for this one because I mean, how are you supposed to prepare yourself for something like
that? Yeah, no, you
that?
can't. I mean,
so Foxa makes it. Go ahead.
That's the worst giveaway I've seen in a long time, honestly. I mean, that goes in the Stars' favor. He just left it right there, and Foxa just scores.
Right.
Okay, sure.
I mean, it was so blatantly obvious. If that's not in Steve's Dang It's on Sportsnet YouTube channel, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I called that a ball doesn't lie moment because, I mean, the penalties, that was their 5th, and the Stars had 2. And
the hockey guys.
Yeah, that one was definitely a penalty, but the Stars should have been on the power play several times in that third period, and they never got it. So
there was some chances in the remaining 4.5 minutes of that third period. There was a missed hooking call that we talked about that was on Pavelski. It should have been called, and it was not called. There was a really, really big chance for Dallas in the dying seconds of the third, and then we would go to overtime. What did y'all think about the third?
And that hook does the same thing that the Tyler Seguin non-call did. I mean, it takes away a scoring chance from us, and it gives one to the Lightning. That can't happen. Those are the exact penalties that you're trying to call. I mean, those have to be called every time. Like, those aren't touch fouls. Those are changing the game. So, it's stupid.
Well, and the frustrating thing about that, excuse me, as I yawn. The frustrating thing about that is it's an obvious easy call that they don't take.
Hard.
I mean, it's an easy call to make, and they didn't take it because they were too scared to take 3 points away from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing is with how good our power plays has been, and especially in this game, it looked amazing. We were going to score on that power play.
With the momentum we had.
I don't think it was even a question. I don't think it was even a question. If they gave us another power play, we were scoring on it.
Going into overtime, the most frustrating thing for me and for every Stars fan, and as they stand up out of their chairs, wherever they're watching from in the Dallas area or wherever in the world, they stand up and they say, how the heck is that not a penalty on Seguin's bid? He has a step on the defender. He gets his stick slashed out of his hands, and there's no call. Yeah. How on earth is there no call? It does not make any sense.
The thing that was even more frustrating is that they trapped that line on the ice for that. They trapped them specifically so that they could skate around them like that because they knew they had the legs on them. And Seguin was doing just that. He was skating around them. Dude reaches across, slashes his stick out his hand, and chance goes the other way.
And to be clear, I think all of us, we're all for penalties not being very likely in overtime. They shouldn't be. I mean, it's such game changers. It's almost giving the win to the other team. But when it's that blatantly obvious, takes a scoring chance away from one team, gives one to the other team, you have to call it. That's not even a judgment call. That has to be called every single time.
It's also something that's called when another player is tired like that. When the other player is tired and they make a mistake, that mistake should be called. It almost always is when you're talking about sustained pressure in the defensive zone. That's where most penalties are drawn.
It's a good play by the Stars is what you're saying. They were smart, recognized they were tired, went to skate around them to get a scoring chance or draw a penalty. And we did the second one, and they just don't call it. You're just you're taking something away from the Stars there. It's not just, oh, we didn't give something to them. No, you're taking it away.
Yes. And this is the exact thing that I was talking about in the Sharks game that ended up happening in this game. We actually got some more calls in this game, and we should have won it off of special teams. We should have won this game off of special teams, 1,000%. But I mean, they just stopped calling them for us.
Well, again, I'll say it again. There were chances in the game today that the Stars should have taken care of. The first 2 goals by Tampa should probably not have happened. And then I'll point to the four offensive zone opportunities that they had. They lost every single faceoff. They lost every single one. So, but yes, can we be frustrated about both? 100%, 100%. And let me go out and say this. I'm not saying that officiating cost us the game, because it did not cost us the game. We lost the game because of things that we didn't take care. Yes, that we didn't take care of.
Officiating cost us the second point.
Yes, and that's fair. That's fair to say. Haskin would have a shot. Odd man goes the other way. Whatever. Kaloran puts it in the back of the net, and they win 5-4. So overall, guys, what happened in today's game other than officiating for you? Because we talked about officiating a lot already.
The Stars fought back, and the officials burned us to the ground. If we're not going to talk about officiating.
I mean, that's really what the game was, though. I mean, we played exactly how I said I wanted the Stars to play after last game. We took a ton of penalties. We got 2, and we scored both of our chances and scored one shorthanded. I mean, that's spectacular. That's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly what I wanted.
And still lost the game.
We should have won, though.
And still lost the game.
Point. We had this. We have the good special teams. We should be taking advantage of it. That's what we did in this game, and we should have won because of it. We didn't get the last call. Whatever. We still get a point out of it. I'm honestly not too upset about it.
Something we can talk about other than the refs. This was my takeaway from the game before the Foxa goal happened. Is that the Stars have not won from behind yet, and they have not won a 1-goal game yet, and that's kind of a problem. We've only been able to win when we blew them out. So we have to find a way to scrap a win in these close games, and we need to find a way to come from behind and hold the lead, because we haven't been able to do that this season.
That's a very good point. I haven't even really considered that, because last year we were kings of doing that, and this year it's obviously not the case. We typically win by 3 or more goals, it seems like. So what's the I guess what's the way to fix that in the game on Thursday against the Panthers?
Keep playing.
Well, I don't want to try and fix it. I'd rather win by 3 again.
Right. But if we find ourselves in a situation like that, what's the way to fix that?
I mean, you need to find a way to combine being aggressive and defending still, because right now you're not finding that happy medium. When you're getting behind, you're getting blown out.
So honestly, in this game, I felt like it was more, we just needed to score one more 5-on-5 chance, man. I mean, we had so many chances that we just missed 5-on-5. You score one of those, and we're looking prime position to win this 1-goal game. I mean,
you get that, or you get one more big save from Ottinger, who didn't have a great night either.
Exactly.
He did not have a great night tonight. The takeaway I'm taking away from this game is the Stars are able to play against really good teams. I mean, it was back and forth all game long. And yes, we made some mistakes, but we also took advantage of some of the mistakes they made. So that's what good teams do. But to your point, Chris, they have to figure out how to win these games against these really good teams, because we have lost to really good teams lately. And if we want to go, I feel like we're in that second tier right now, if that makes any sense, right? Agreed. We're a clear playoff contender. We're going to make the playoffs, I feel like, at least at this point in the season. But we're not in that top tier of teams with the Carolinas, the Vegases, I guess New Jersey is in that category right now. New Jersey.
They just won 10 straight.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't feel like we're in that category right now. So we need to figure out a way to get from tier 2 to tier 1. So biggest winners and biggest losers tonight, because it's going a little long tonight.
Biggest winner is Jason Robertson. He is the greatest, and I love him.
Yeah. And I'll give my biggest winner to both Hintz and Robertson for extending the point streak. 9 games straight.
And since y'all took the obvious one, I'll give mine to Ty Dellandrea. Ty Dellandrea has been a revelation, and I've already screamed his praises in this episode tonight, but he was fantastic. And ever since that shot block, I went back and looked at some of his highlights real quick before we started, and I was like, this guy is irreplaceable right now, because whatever line he's been on this season, he's been the reason why that line's been successful, whether he was on that second line with Sagan and Marchment, or whether he's been on that third line with Jamie and Baby Wyatt. So, if he really is hurt, I don't know who we call up to.
It's Gurionov, I would assume, coming back in. He's still
I
day to
think he's
day.
still
He might
hurt.
come back. But that's who I would expect would come back.
I'm pretty sure they were saying he was ready for Florida.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive though. I'll give my biggest loser. Biggest loser. Guess who it is? It's the officials. They're terrible. They suck. It's unfair. And yes, I'm a 5-year-old. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
James, who's your biggest loser tonight?
Tyler Seguin. He had 3 penalties not called against him.
That's
has
true.
to be frustrating. He didn't tally tonight, and he had 3 penalties where all of them took away a scoring chance from him. So
I got to give mine to Jake Ottinger tonight. He wasn't super fantastic tonight. I mean, he made some decent saves, but for some reason, and I hate to think this but I was right. When he let in that 3rd goal, I was less like, oh no, we're going to lose the game. We were up 3-2 because when he gives up more than 2 goals, we lose the game. I mean, that is statistically 100% on. So I don't like to see him to play as bad as he has, and I think something's still bothering him. I think he's got an injury that's still bothering him.
Well, and, I think that goalie bowling might have shook him in this game, honestly, because other than that, he looked fine. He looked pretty good in the first period and a half. I think. I don't think it sounded like he was doing fine. And then after the goalie bowling, it seemed like he was letting up a few more rebounds, and I don't know. That's the way it felt to me.
All right, we got a lot to talk about for tomorrow night, but anything else y'all want to mention before we close it out tonight?
Keep taking penalties. It works. I swear.
James,
2 games in a row.
James, the statistician, says
we have 4 power play goals in 2 games.
And not to mention the power play goals.
We've only had 5 power plays. We've only had 5 power plays.
I know.
We got scored the opposition on special teams by like 5, I think. it's 6-1 in 2 games. So keep taking penalties. We are number 3 in power play and number 3 in penalty kill.
James, you can keep yelling off camera here, I guess, here in a second. But thank you guys once again for tuning in. We appreciate you guys listening to us. We just surpassed 7,000 downloads for I think it was yesterday. We love you guys, and thank you for all the support that y'all have given us over the years. And we're going to keep going with this, and we continue to hope growing this community that we have here over in the chats. It was a fantastic game tonight, but the Stars do lose by a final score of 5-4 in overtime. We do get a point. Thank you, Brian Elliott, for burping the puck up for us. And I guess we should say Sergachev for that. But please go and check out sarcasticremarksshop.com for all of your latest merch options. And, of course, as always, along with Chris and James, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. And we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. See you guys later.